Welcome to another weekly forecast. It's been a while since I've done the weekly forecast, but mainly because the reason is the markets, especially the indices, are in all-time highs. Therefore, that's not really a need for me to do the weekly forecast, as the price is just going to spool higher. Okay, so because we're nearing the month end, it would be interesting to see how we close this month of July. Moving over to the charts, I'm just going to glance through the indices, but I'm more interested in the forex futures. Okay, over here on a weekly time frame, we can see that the indices and the forex pairs, in terms of the majors, are trending higher. Over here on the bottom right, we have Euro versus British Pound. So this pair is also in an uptrend, which means we should expect to see stronger Euro towards the upside as compared to British Pound. So if I'm looking for shorts, I'll be shorting British Pound. If I'm looking for longs, obviously I'll be looking for Euro. Okay, so I'm just going to conclude the indices first because it's rather simple. While we zoom in, we can see that we have quite a strong close on the weekly candle. So next week, I would be expecting the same thing, or maybe even like a consolidation, but we shall see. I'm still leaning towards bullishness for next week until at least Wednesday's New York AM session, because we do have FOMC in the PM session. So that is going to be the driving factor for next week. I think that's where the highs and lows are going to be formed. So best case scenario, we accumulate on Monday and Tuesday, and then we manipulate lower on Wednesday, and then we continue to trade higher on Thursday and Friday. The only issue is that Thursday is the last day of the monthly candle. So with that, putting that into perspective, there is a second option whereby Thursday, or should I say on Wednesday, we start to print the highs and then we reverse back down. Reversals are in lower time frame. I'm not going to think that we're going to take out this 2 weekly candles, more of retracing back inside this 2 candles range. I think the low is still going to be intact because there is this down close candle here, which is going to act as a minor support. Okay, because it's not a order block that has traded into a PD array, or it is not an order block in discount as well. So I don't think this is going to provide the next strong support for price to move higher from it. And then if we take a look at the monthly candle, we do have a monthly fair value gap forming below this low right here. So it opens up the possibility of us attacking the monthly lows of July next month before we continue to spool higher into the end of the year. So that is very easy and straightforward for indices. Now moving over to the forex. Over here on the weekly time frame, we can see that price has reached down into this bullish fair value gap. We closed below, forming a bearish fair value gap right here. However, price is not respecting it over here. As you can see, we're closing above. Therefore, I would be utilizing this fair value gap as some form of support next week to take out this high right here. Okay, I would be bullish on euro, and I would prefer to trade euro as compared to British pound. So that is basically it for the game plan of forex. Dropping down into the daily time frame, you can already see that the daily candle is utilizing this CB turn into inversion on Friday, whereby it traded all the way into 50%. Okay, so moving forward, I don't think we're going to trade down here into this tiny little fair value gap, even though it's possible, but based on the candle close, I don't think it is going to do so. I think from Monday to Tuesday it is going to gravitate higher, and then on Wednesday it's going to take out this swing high for euro. Okay, we're still bullish, nothing has changed. So the same thing that applies to the indices, we can drop lower into this down close candle for Nasdaq. We can drop lower into this fair value gap for ES. We can drop lower into back into this fair value gap, or even this down close candle here for Dow Jones, and nothing is going to change, because as long as we don't engulf any up close candles, in this case that would be this 3 candles for Dow Jones, this candle for Nasdaq, and this consecutive up close candles for ES, I still do think that we are going to trade higher eventually. I don't technically trade the euro and British pound. I only use it for deciding which asset to long or short between euro and British pound. Unless both are in consolidation, then it opens up a possibility for me to trade this particular pair. But other than that, I'm usually not touching it. For bond futures, it's the same thing until we can engulf this 1 2 3 consecutive, I think it's about five consecutive up close candles. We are still, I believe that we are still going to push higher. So over here we have this inversion fair value gap, which we closed above once, and then look at the body respecting the 50%. Even after trading down into this bullish fair value gap, look at the reaction right here. So for bond futures, it's pretty simple. I'm looking for price to take out this short-term swing high right here, and that would be the objective for next week. So bullish indices, bullish bonds, and bullish euro. I do not dare to say that I'm bullish British pound, because if you look at the order flow, it's entirely decoupled from euro due to this pair running higher, or due to this pair having a very bullish order flow. Okay, so it's gonna make things very difficult for British pound to move. The only time these two move together in sync is when this thing consolidates. I think that's pretty straightforward. So that's it for the weekly forecast. For next week, I'm going to do more in-depth because we are going to have the monthly close available next week. So it might open up to more possibilities, or it might make things clearer. So with that, I'll see you the next time, and we'll talk again.